Okay, we are live. And I think there was a problem with my scheduling. I tried to schedule it for now, 9:30 UK time, and it seems to have failed that. So hopefully people will join in this painting live stream. I've got a few different miniatures that I've primed. As always, I prime with Wraithbone spray, Citadel Wraithbone spray. And we've got, on the paint table, we've got Hell, Loki, Ragnar, Ltha, and you can see the tone of that spray, and then the Sears. I just went with these, just quite randomly, to be honest. I needed some gods, and I really wanted to go with Loki. I just love the sculpt that they've decided to go for compared to the previous one. So let's start with Loki. So if we have a little look at Loki's card, we can kind of see the colorings that we go with. I'm gonna follow the cards pretty much exclusively as we go through this. So linking to the face, the skin tone, I love to use a bit of Guilliman flesh. I think it's such a good skin tone. As I zoom in, I've got this little 3D printed holder as well, which really does help to not spill all your paints everywhere. I also have a paint holder if I need it for the smaller miniatures. So I've been working with, if I can find the right one. No, not that one. Let's say not that one. There it is. I've been working with this, I've even forgotten what it's called now. Let's see, Scable. Rosemary & Co. That was it. Rosemary & Co. brushes. I was using what they called Winsor & Newton Series 7s, but they got so expensive, and I found these to be really nice. Keep their point really well. Yeah, I really do like them. So, starting with the Guilliman flesh, and again, I will put a list of the paints used after this, and then we just go in to here. Now I'm going to try and leave the eyeballs white or wraithbone. The reason why is because the god's eyes glow kind of blue tinge, and I've got a paint which will hopefully showcase that. I'm not too worried about the hair, because effectively he's got kind of slightly ginger hair, I guess you can say, from that. Now, this is the first painting live stream I've done for a very long time. So hopefully we do get some people joining. They can ask anything about the game, painting, or anything about the hobby, really. It's good to chat. Keeps things a little bit more interesting as I showcase this. Obviously, the video will come on YouTube as normal after the live stream, which is great. I love that about YouTube, is you don't just have to catch it live. You can just watch any of these at any time. And again, I'm not a professional painter. It's I just love this part of the hobby, and Citadel contrast paints have just made it so much more accessible and so much better to paint. So there's Loki. Then we move on to, as we've got the Guilliman flesh, let's go to Ragnar. The contrast paints always dry a bit lighter tone as well, from what you put on at the start of. Oh no, I didn't schedule it for tomorrow, did I? It seems to have gone. Tierra just said, "Isn't this scheduled for tomorrow?" I really apologise. I think there was a bit of a mix-up when I put the schedule on. So you know, I'm not a super massive production YouTube channel or anything like that. So I just use my phone. and I think yeah, there was a bit of a mix-up with that. It does seem, because it was saying just go live. So yeah, we're doing it now. If anyone's watching, that'd be great. Just chat. But unfortunately, maybe some people who have been waiting for the live stream, unfortunately, won't be here thinking it's tomorrow, if that's the case, and I do apologise for that. I'll do some more live streams as we go along. But again, just talking about Citadel contrast paints, because it has been a little while. Certainly, I've been painting plenty, but I haven't been doing any videos. I haven't had the time to do the live streams or the videos for those. But contrast paints are so good, and for something like Mythic battle games, where you've got so many miniatures that you don't really, well, if you're like me, you don't have the time to paint everything to super detail. If you want a decent enough finish in a relatively quick time, and you'll see that hopefully in the next hour or so, or a couple of hours, you'll see how quick and how immediate the results are with Citadel contrast paints. And yes, they're like watercolors in the sense of, if you make a mistake, especially a darker tone over a lighter pigment, then you might have to retouch it up with some base paint. But the beauty is, of course, it's a one coat wonder. So it's going to do all of the wash, all the highlights for you. And as I've always recommended on my videos, if you want to just give painting a go, you can get a few different paints, have a little go at contrast and at the miniatures, because anything's better than grey plastic. So there's Ltha, skin tone, and then we'll do the Sears as well. So we'll just do everything with this Guilliman flesh, working through it. Okay. Now, for metallics, at the moment you can't use contrast for metallics. However, I think Army Painter are bringing out a new range where they do have metallic speed paints. I might be wrong there, but I think that's what's happening. So there could be a huge advantage with using them. I mean, I find just using a metallic paint like lead belcher, and then just using Nuln Oil for silvers. If you want golds, you can use Retributor armor, or you can paint the Iandan yellow, so like a contrast paint over the metal pigment, and it works really well. These contrast paints really do go well over those metallic paints as well, which I'm sure I'm sure you've seen on channels, YouTube channels and stuff, especially for Space Marines and stuff. If you want different colored metallics, it's brilliant. It's really quick, and that's the beauty of contrast paints. And you've got speed paints as well. It's not just Citadel that do these types of paints. You can. What was the other one called? I can't remember now. Speed 7 or something like that. I think it got kickstarted a while back, and there again, exactly the same idea. Trying to get everything much easier for the painter, especially the amateur painter. Just like the standard painter who's not trying to win competitions, because that's definitely not what I'm trying to do here. I just want it to look good on the table, rather than a sea of grey plastic, which is what I saw. And with the quality of these miniatures from Ragnarok, they really deserve some kind of paint on them. Now, I've seen on social media some absolutely phenomenal paint jobs. Yes. Thierry just talked about Zenithal, a style of Zenithal undercoating. So I just find this so easy, and I love the pop of the colors. You'll see it hopefully at the end of this video. The pop of the colors from these miniatures, and I like that style. But yes, Zenithal priming. So you use a white base prime, and then a black base prime or a dark grey, and then you go in with a white at an angle, like towards directly from above. So it gives you those shadows to start with, And then because these are semi-translucent paints, those shadows will come through. So it gives you a really nice kind of effect of those shadows. But personally, I just, you know, I let the light do the shadows. I typically have quite high luminosity light coming from above on the game table, so it naturally gives those miniatures the shadows and stuff anyway, without the need of the Zenithal. But yeah, that's definitely a very common technique, and I have done it before. I just haven't found the extra. I can't be bothered, to be honest, to do the extra work on the priming of the miniatures. I'm very happy with the results that this just gives. But you know, it's personal taste. Of course, if you don't want it to give you this kind of brightness in color, you can of course always go with a different undercoat. It doesn't have to be Wraithbone. Wraithbone is very good for, I would say, a warm tone. You can go with a cooler tone with just kind of like Corax white or just a white undercoat, and of course you go with like grey Sear or a grey undercoat if you want a duller tone. So we got Hell. So Hell's this miniature here. This should be relatively easy to paint. We've basically got a white and a black half with some red eyes, and this kind of like a burnt kind of charcoal effect going on with the horns stroke tentacles or whatever they are headdress. So Apothecary White is a fantastic white Citadel contrast paint. I really like it. I think it's one of the essential ones personally. And we're literally going to lather this on, and again, this really doesn't matter if you get it over. You've got a clear model where the half goes, so that's nice and easy. And it's kind of like ash is the other half. So like lava and ash, which is really cool. But this will give us some tones. Some yeah, true. If you're alluding to the kind of Zenithal, I imagine it's not too hard. And the effect is definitely, people do prefer it, 100%. That kind of more realistic look, realistic tone, I suppose. It is very popular, which is fair enough. It's personal taste, right? I've been painting with contrast for years now, and since they first came out, and this is like my tried and tested method that I prefer. But obviously, you want to experiment and try and find your favorite. Oh, it's this one here. Your favorite method, as it were. I'm so keen on the solo scenarios that were stretch goals for this game. I've got the compendium for Pantheon, so that got delivered as well. By the way, that was it. So I'm looking forward to playing some Mythic Battle Pantheon solo, but I really want to play this Ragnarok solo. I'm desperate to play the Ragnarok solo. Right, I'll keep the Apothecary white because old Loki here, not Loki, what am I talking about? Ragnar has got a wolf pelt, it seems. Yeah, Thierry, unfortunately, I mean, hopefully soon, right? A lot of people are waiting, and rightly so, getting quite impatient. I feel really sorry for the people who got it delivered really soon in Europe. With the state of the delivery boxes, it was absolutely horrendous. I was very lucky; mine was bang on packaged. It was absolutely fine. Lots of packaging. It was fully sealed, everything. So I was very lucky. But yeah, some people have not been so lucky. So I can only feel sorry for them and for you guys waiting for your pledges soon. Really, hopefully soon. I'm sure they're sending the rest out now. Anyway, we got this fur outer for the cloak. So let's just go straight on to that. Which is here. And again, I mean, obviously, Apothecary white, you can't get a contrast white. It's a grey, obviously. But it's just a slightly, obviously, a lighter tone grey. But I just love it because it does give some contrast, and something like Lltha would have slight grey tinges to it. The rest comes around down here, like so, and down here. Hopefully the by what I can see, it looks like the video's in good shot and all focused and everything. Do let me know if there's any problems with the stream. Sound tends to be the biggest problem. But yeah, I would say anyone who is thinking about starting a YouTube channel and just like getting it out there, if you've got a passion about any games and everything else, I'm sure that many of you are passionate about Mythic Battles, then you can certainly just grab your, I'm just using an iPhone, just go and live stream and you just do your content, whatever you want to do. So I highly recommend it. It's good fun. It's good to catch up with community and stuff, and just, you know, express your passions, as it were. I think that's it really for Ragnar in terms of the white. So just have a look at the others before I put the apothecary back. We can always get it back. I think we go with Ltha as well. We see a similar kind of coating on her wolf pelt, I can only imagine. So let's grab Ltha, and I'll show you what I highly recommend is getting one of these miniature holders. It means you can just rotate it around and get to different angles without having to hold the it's much easier and much more ergonomic to hold. So it's a recommendation to grab one of these. Obviously it doesn't have to be Citadel, you can get whatever one you want. I'm just using Citadels. And again, I'm not too fussed about getting this white anywhere else, because just like watercolors, as I said before, you can always go over with a darker tone and it won't really make any difference. Awesome. Right, Sears don't really have white, so I'm going to leave those. I'm going to put the apothecary back. Okay, so now we'll move on to Loki, move back to Loki, I should say. So I'll get rid of the holder for the moment. And with Loki, if we have a little look at his hair, we've got a kind of ginger hair, which is very different to, obviously, Marvel, but some other ones that showed it with black hair, of course. But I would say Loki, yeah, I quite like the idea of a kind of red hair. So I think I'm going to go quite drastic. And one of the yellows, Thierry talks about there are different whites. The contrast range is always expanded, so you can get all different kinds of colours. And yes, you can get different whites. I still think apothecary white is the best. But yeah, 100%. It means you don't have to mix your paints. You can 100% mix your contrast paints. This contrast medium is the best stuff to use if you're doing that. It enables it to keep it still flowing, to keep it quite thin. But I'm going to use Iyanden yellow. Now, Iyanden yellow, as this name suggests, is a yellow, but it's got an orange tinge in it. And then what we can do is, once we've coated with the yellow, of course it'll look very blonde, but ginger's not far from blonde, of course. I've forgot his ear there, so I'm going to have to go back over that. But we can put a bit of Agrak's Earthshade into it. The Marvel Loki miniature was okay, but the pause was too stuck. Oh, do you mean the pose was, yeah, the pose was very static. Oh, do you mean the old one? The one they had before for Loki? Is that what you mean, Terry? You were talking about the older pose, the original pose. I 100% agree. I think it was not a good pose. It was very static. Whereas this is, and I love the snake and everything else that it ties onto it. But that just doesn't stick with Loki. That doesn't stop with Loki. I think the poses they've, the prototype, 100%. I couldn't agree more. But so many of these miniatures are absolutely phenomenal. They're just, the poses, the dynamic poses of them, absolutely awesome. And as you can see, you immediately see the effects of your painting. That's one of the main things I love about contrast paints and similar. I should always say and similar, because there is not just Citadel, obviously, that do them. There are other ones that do it. But you see those immediate effects taking place. And to be honest, that's so important. I mean, if you've ever done painting or drawing or anything like that before, you don't see the fruits of your labor until you get towards the end of your piece. And that was very much true for miniature painting for me. I had to do base coat. It looked quite bland. Then you put washes on. That improved it, but then it looked really dark. And then you had to layer up. I mean, just doing highlight was all right, but it didn't give a great effect. And then doing layering was really good, and it gave a really good effect, but it took forever. So having this, having these contrast paints just means that everything gets done so quickly. I love that. I'm going to keep with the Iand in yellow because he's got flame coming from his hand. So I'm going to just chuck on this on the flame while I've got it out. And this will be a good start for our flame. We can put in some orange into there, some orange tinge. And if you go a bit over some other bits of it, don't worry, because that will give that yellow look to the surrounding area. So I'm just going to go a little bit over that, like so. There we go. Okay. So that's Loki's hair. He does look blonde. He looks like Thor more than Loki, but we will sort that out with some washes. So non-Citadel, and I'll come to that in a bit. By the way, water is your razor for Citadel contrast paints, so be a bit careful. You don't want to have water mixed in with your Citadel contrasts. They'll tend to thin them out. They still work, but it starts to stop the agent working, and you don't get the same effect. You have a kind of gel inside of contrast paints, which is why it goes into the recesses and it exposes the highlights, as it were. So you want to try and keep that as best as you can. Right, okay. I'm looking at Ragnar, and we've got this kind of slight pink tinge to his cuirass. So I think we're going to try and tackle that next. So here we got Ragnar. Let's chuck him onto our paint holder. As I say, always worth keeping your paint holder handy. Now, pink-wise, I have, voluptuous pink. And again, there are multiple other paints that you can get. I've effectively got this tub of paints. And I've had this tub of paints for quite a while. You might need to mix. So I've got a really state-of-the-art palette. Of course, there are better ones available. But this is quite nice because it recesses down. So you need that kind of little well, as it were, to work on. So to get this pink, I'm just going to... I'm going to mix in a bit of apothecary white. So I can show you a little bit about mixing. Yeah, this is a terrible palette, but it'll do the job. So we grab like a couple of brushfuls of this pink, okay? I'm just put Ragnar over there for a minute while I mix this paint. Then we get the apothecary white. And this should give us a pink colour, right? So if I get a brush full of that, that'll turn it more into a pink colour. I think we're going to add a little bit more. Obviously, wash your brush. You don't want to get pink into your apothecary white. So I'm going to add the same amount of apothecary white. Now, I think this is too pigmented for what the picture shows. You can always just grab a little bit and just have a little look, see what it looks like on your that's actually pretty good. But I'm going to go a bit thinner. So I'm going to thin it down with just a tad bit of contrast medium. So this is like the water of normal paints, right? If you're trying to water down your paints, use water. Use contrast mediums with contrast paints. And we give that a little mixeroonie. And that is now done. And now we grab Ragnar. And let's see how this looks. I think I'm happy with that. Again, as I said before, I'm really after that kind of colour pop, even with Vikings, which can be a bit monotone. I prefer a good colour pop with my miniatures. And then it goes up to here. So now there's a little bit of white left over. That's all right. The central part differs slightly from... There we go. Quite happy with that. Just make sure I get all of... Try and get inside there as well. And I think... That's that pink. So I've just mixed all that paint. Don't really need much of it. However, have a look. The Sears, very similar. So I might just chuck in. So what I'm going to do is quickly take this Ragnar off, and we're going to go back to the, and we're going to go into the Sears. Okay, so the Sears have got this kind of like purpley pink dress. So the idea that it's purpley pink makes me think, you know what? What we'll do is we will grab a little bit of... No, that's going to be too blue. I'm going to grab some more voluptuous pink, actually. And just a tad more voluptuous pink. So about half a paintbrush of. And then mix that in. Now, just like normal paints, it does dry. In fact, it dries as quick as normal paints. So you've got to be a little bit quicker if you're mixing these paints. There's no... well, I imagine people have used a wet palette with contrast paints, but I certainly haven't. Because I don't think that'll work. Because then again, you're using water. And I'm not going to use a load of contrast medium, of course. But hopefully you're seeing in this session how quick things can be done. I think we'll go in... yeah, let's just go everywhere. Apart from the dress. So I'm actually going to go in everywhere with this pink. Well, not everywhere, sorry. I meant everywhere on the dress. But not the cloak. And then we'll go in around here. This is, by the way, this is, you'll notice, this isn't exactly a thin brush. And I highly recommend getting a half decent brush. So I can't remember, I think these are about £8, UK pounds. These Rosemary & Co ones. Well, they were when I bought them anyway. They've probably changed completely now. So they're not horrendously expensive. Just looking at the cloak looks very similar too, doesn't it? I mean, we can go easy and just paint the whole lot. Yeah, let's see what it's like. I'm going to keep going with this colour. So I'm actually going to paint, believe it or not, this might look stupid, but we will see. So I'm going to get all the belts. You know what? Let's try something. We can always put a bit of a metallic trim to everything. But while I've got this paint, I'm going to go down the easy route of painting pretty much the entire miniature with this colour. Now we can recreate this colour relatively easy. And you can see here it's going into those recesses and it's giving a really good contrast effect, which is the whole point of the paints, of course. Ooh. And then what we can do is we could potentially use either washes or other contrast paints on top of this contrast paint to give different tones to the different parts of the dress, which is obviously something we're going to be missing. No, I won't do the sleeves, but I will do the upper parts. And these ones here. And then down. also the well, I mean, normal paints last a very long time anyway, obviously, but the contrast paints last a decent amount of time, so you don't have to replenish them that often. Depends how much you paint, of course, obviously. I mean, that's, don't want to state the complete obvious. Then we can add some purple on there as well. Just a little look. So I'm just going to chuck in some purple here as well around the headdress. There we go. I'm just going to do ones here, I think, and just see how they turn out, and then I can always do the rest another time. Just get rid of that paint that just got on there. Okay, so we've used up the palette. We're in 30 minutes in. Okay, cool. Right. Let's move on to. Let's go back to Ragnar. No, not Ragnar. What am I talking about? Let's go back to Loki. And I'm thinking, let's move on to the trousers. Yeah, let's go on to the trousers. So it's kind of like a reddish brown, and I found Gore Grunter Fur to be a really good colour. But again, if you're starting out, there's no reason why you can't just get one brown, and if you've got a bit of red, so if you've got like Blood Angels Red and Snakebite Leather, you just give it a little mix. If you want to make it a lighter tone, bit of contrast medium, and therefore you're not buying loads of paint, because, you know, it can be expensive, especially apparently for those in America. I believe the Citadel contrast paint range is extremely expensive. And again, Citadel aren't the only ones, so just going with this type of paint is what I'm recommending. So we've got the trousers here, okay? Now this is over the whole lot, it seems on the diagram, so I'm not too fussed about going over these. And it's just a reddish tinge to, and this goes all the way down. I mean, of course, you can go with whatever you want when you're painting. That's the beauty of painting, right? That's the creativeness of painting. But for miniature games, I do tend to... oh, this is a point. So you'll see here, this is quite a large flat area. We're going to get that even more. So, well, actually, not on his cloak, because it's so detailed, miniature molded. Contrast paints don't do very well with flat surfaces. Now, this is a leather trousers, right? There's going to be some blemishes and stuff like that. So I'm really not too fussed if there are discrepancies between different parts of the trousers. I think that's just natural. That'll actually add to the miniature. But you kind of just, you swipe it down to make sure that you're covering all of it. The paint will naturally just fall into place a little bit. Just going to move this into there. But you can see the richness. This is what I love about this technique of Wraithbone, is how rich the colours are on the miniatures. But genuinely, if you've not painted before and you have Mythic Battle Pantheon or Ragnarok or both, it's something I would highly recommend. It's a big part of the hobby for me. The painting is a massive part of the hobby. And with all of these amazing miniatures, it's silly not to, really. I mean, there is a cost involved, of course there is, and time. Not just cost, time. And even with contrast paints, you need some patience, because if you imagine all the miniatures that you've got inside of the inside of each of these games, is quite astronomical. But if you take your time, maybe paint the ones that you play mostly, then yeah, you will get a lot out of the hobby and you'll really enjoy it. Okay, we're coming to... I'll be interested to know if anyone's painting while watching this. Not necessarily Ragnarok, because I know there has been massive delays for a lot of you, so I don't want to rub that in, as it were, but if you're painting anything else, that'd be cool to find out what you're painting. Just have a little look, and the It's really weird. This kind of like checkered coat seems like the same color as this. So we're going to go with that. So this here, I mean, just look at the beauty of these miniatures. Why I would say these are fantastic starter miniatures to paint is because of the amount of detail. The paint does all the work. I'm literally just putting my brush to the mini, and the paint is doing all the work for me. Okay. Yes, there's a certain amount of steadiness and confidence, I suppose, with painting that will come with practice, but effectively, the paint does all the work. Thierry, how many Pantheon miniatures have you got left? And how much have you got? Have you got like all in with all the expansions and everything? Or that's a hell of a lot of miniatures. But yeah, the detail. Is absolutely amazing on these miniatures. Okay. Yeah, I think this was definitely the right choice of colour for this coat. Can't go too far wrong in just copying the card art. I mean, they've hired artists, obviously, to do their versions of these gods and everything else. So why not use their ideas? But as I say, you can go crazy. Painting is a creative art, okay? So you can paint them rainbow coloured, Marvel style, whatever you want. Cool. Okay, so that's the cloak done. For Loki. While I've got this slight brown out, do we want to carry on with it anywhere? No, I don't think I do. So I'll put this Gore Grunter fur, which is what that was, away. Let's see what else we can do. So, I'm looking at Ltha, and we haven't done Ltha much. And we've got this purple here. It's a bluey purple. So, I've got this Luxian purple. Now, it's a very bright purple. But what I'm thinking is we're going with this. And again, if you want to tone down things, you can use washes. Things like Nolan oil. I'll tell you what, Thierry. Thierry's talking about motivation in terms of painting, and it's one of the weirdest things. I go through spells, and I won't paint for like a month or several weeks or whatever it might be, and then I'll be playing. I'll organise to play a miniatures game, and then that'll get me back into it, and then I'll start painting the miniatures for that game. And then I'll go through a spell of just going nuts and painting every other evening or something like that. Of course, you're going to need time, but it's definitely one of those. And imagine a cat. Yes, a cat. I can imagine jumping up. Oh, how many paints have been knocked over by your cat, Thierry? I can't know that because I'm bad enough knocking my own paints over, let alone an animal. And I imagine a pet would be horrendous at just knocking stuff over all the time. Could you not coincide your painting with when your cat goes out for the evening or something like that? I don't know. I don't own a cat, so I can't speak from experience. Now, this is coming out very, very vivid, okay? So you might go, oh my God, that does not look like a warrior princess, a shield maiden of any type, but we will dull this down, so don't worry. I just want to get that nice vivid base coat first, and then we'll go over this. By the way, if you did Zenithal highlights, that would also help with this, or with a grey Sear, you would get a lot toned down colour to those, but it's just the technique I use. I'll just go in with a bit of wash to help with that. But again, the quality, and yeah, look, I didn't do an unboxing video for Pantheon, of course, because there's loads of those out, and you can see them from anywhere, and it's no different to the 1.5. I think it is an exact reprint of 1.5. I could be wrong there. You can always correct me in the comments. But the quality of the miniatures is such a step up since Pantheon with Ragnarok, and I tell you what, I can't wait for Egyptian. More money, but it looks amazing. So to be fair, that's not. Now what I could do here, I'm going to show you something. See how it's a bit red. It's a bit too much of a red tone for the purple. It needs to be more blue. So let's do that. So I want to get a kind of darkish blue. So again, I've got a number of paints, which does help, of course. I've got to try and find them, of course. No. You would have thought I'd have a painting station, so I could find my paints easier. No. Oh, that could. Oh, that could work. Let's try that. See what happens. So we've got this one. This is one of the newer ones. Dreadful Visage. And while it's wet still on the coat, we're going to go over with this. Now what this will do, and you might need to, yeah, it's not high enough pigment, this Visage. Nope, that's not working. Yeah, dark grey. Yeah, I'm gathering that. It'll work. Trust me, Thierry. It'll just be slightly different. What do I want? I want the... No. Oh, maybe I don't have one. I thought I had a... No, okay. Grey. I like what you're thinking. Basilicum grey. So, while it's wet, we're going to chuck on some Basilicum grey. Okay. Now this will automatically darken it. It will muddy it. If you do this technique, it does kind of muddy the paint. And you want to take off some of the paint from your brush as you go through, or else you're going to have too much paint on the miniature. But effectively, we can start to feed in this grey. I mean, it's the wrong choice. It is the wrong choice, to be fair, I think, to start with. And I'm just going to keep working that grey and mixing it in with this Luxian purple. And as long as you do that while it's wet, it'll work. It'll still give you the contrast. Oh, sorry, I just realised what I was doing. Yeah, you could do multiple coats. I just like the contrast more when you've only got one coat. So I'm just literally wiping off some of the paint now. And actually, that's coming out quite nice. This is better. So that's very much a duller purple, what I was after. It's still a bit more red than blue, but I'm happy with that. It doesn't have to be identical to the picture. So that was Basilicum grey. Basilicum grey, by the way, is an absolute essential contrast paint. Absolutely essential contrast paint. And then we've got a kind of blue here, but we'll worry about that later. Let's stay with Ltha. Let's do some hair. It's pretty black hair, actually. And just trying to see, I mean, it's quite dark picture, to be fair. And then we've also got this chest plate. So that's snakebite leather, really. I think we might hit in with some snakebite leather next. So let's go with some snakebite leather. Again, what I would probably call an essential contrast paint again. And most of my contrast paints, I might say, are essential. Obviously, they're not. You can always mix them up. But snakebite leather is a really nice reddish brown tinge, but quite a light brown is how I'd describe it. And we're going to go in here. With that, she's also got the straps. If we have a little look, the straps going around the chest. Don't worry, there are metal parts, so we're definitely going to be going over the metal parts. So if you go over the metal parts, don't worry about it. It's better to get the entire strap. And sometimes it's quite good to... Now, what's underneath? Is that more that... No, it's more that bluish purple colour. All right. Perhaps could have used some more of that. I might just go grey for that. Let's bring this around here. Cool. I think we'll stick with the... Yep, we'll stick with the snakebite leather here for the arm braces. They will have metal spikes coming out. Not spikes, you know, studs, sorry. Spikes. Cool. Nearly. If it goes out of shot a bit like that, it's because I'm just trying to get the right angle. It's very hard to keep it on. What about the belt? I think we could probably go with a different tone for the belt, just to mix things up a little bit. Okay, cool. She has got dark brown hair I'm going to give her. So I'm going to actually go in with the snakebite leather for the hair as well. Again, very detailed. So the paint will do all the work for me. But then this ponytail is coming up from there. And again, the brush. The brush is so important. It's usually overlooked. Like you can get a ton of cheap brushes and just keep swapping out all the time. Of course, that's an option. But I'd just recommend getting something, you know, you don't have to spend a fortune on one. You don't have to get the best out there. But if you just get a relatively decent one, this is Kolinsky Sable brush. So that's what I'd recommend. And it just lasts. It lasts, it keeps its tip. You want to like get a decent amount of paint on your brush. So if you go too fine detail on your brush, it's just not going to keep the paint. And you'll just have a bit of a hard time with it. Whereas this, you can see that it's just the paint's just dripping onto it. Oh, hang on a minute. Just need to get in there. And inside of that. There we go. Cool. So let's put Ltha down for a minute. Snakebite leather. We've got snakebite leather. Yeah, I think we might head back to Loki. We're going to head back to Loki because this in here, I think we're going to go snakebite leather, all of this. So we'll start here. And again, I'm just going to go over this bit. And you can see, now you can see the tones between the browns. Browns are fantastic with contrast. I love the browns in contrast paints. I think they show a good range of tones and shades. And of course, you can get so many. I mean, there's so many contrast paints out there now. But it depends on budget, right? How much can you afford? Because if you can afford all the paints in the world, then you just get all of the contrast paints, for example, or all the speed paints colors, and then you can just grab them straight out of the bottle like I'm doing, and you don't have to mix. It's a lot quicker. Oops, just a little finger there to get rid of that went on there. But again, just letting the brush do all the work. The detail, honestly, the detail in these miniatures makes this so easy. The paint just does the job for you. I'm literally just planting paint in the areas that I want it. Minimal effort. Didn't need to wash these or anything like that. I literally spray painted them. And I also spray painted them in about 4 degrees centigrade, which I was slightly worried with because I'm not sure what the primer works at, but I don't think it's supposed to work that cold, but it seems to have worked fine. It dries, the primer dries in a matter of half an hour, something like that, if that, so you can get painting relatively quickly after you've primed. I'm not endorsed, by the way, by Citadel, in case you're wondering. I've just used these paints for quite a while, and I've just been so pleased with the effects. You can already see that Loki's already starting to take effect from just these few coats. What about anything else? Oh yeah, the shoulder. Okay, that's a cloak. So this here and here is the same color. Now again, you may not want them to be this colorful, okay, to be this vivid in terms of the colors. And as I said, you can change the primer, you change the paints you use, and I will be doing a bit of wash on some of the miniatures to show the effect of dulling down some stuff. But I just love, I mean, you see this on the board and you go, wowzers. Oh, behind the knee. Oh yes, thank you. Thank you, Thierry. I mean, I assume. I mean, the beauty is, as you start to get rid of the white, bits you've missed will pop out, which is absolutely fine, especially if you've just used straight out of the pot. You just go back to the pot and just touch up. And I do that all the time. I always see bits that I've missed. That's a bit weird. Oh, okay. Behind the other knee too. Oh, that's a strap. I realised that was a strap. So that's a different colour as well. So that there, that white line there is a strap. So I'm going to go with slightly different, a slightly darker brown, just to give it a little difference, to be honest. But thank you for keeping me honest. So I might have missed your chat, Thierry. The ledge of the tunic. Ledge of the tunic. There. I mean, oh, here. Perhaps you mean here, the edge. It's really hard when you're the edge of the tunic. The edge of the tunic. Where am I looking? This has got too much paint on it for starters. Let's grab some of that paint back off. I'm sure it'll pop up in a bit. What was I saying? Oh yeah. You were saying about you want to finish off Pantheon. I might have missed the chat. How much of Pantheon do you have to paint left? Is it much? Sweet. I'm trying to find what you're talking about. Edge of the tunic. Anyway, we'll come back. Don't worry. So that's Loki done a bit more. We've got this snake bite leather. Oh no, let's go back to Ragnar. Gonna go back to Ragnar. Lothbrok. Here he is. And we're going to do his awesome cloak or coat. I think Skeleton Horde is going to be perfect for this. Obviously, it's not bone. But this tone looks just like Skeleton Horde. Agaros Dunes could work as well, but I'm going to try a bit of Skeleton Horde. Right, okay. The reflect, yeah, it will do that before it dries. So here's the Skeleton Horde. Again, really good, of course, for bone. I really like it for bone. It doesn't give the... Okay, it doesn't give the most realistic effect of bone. It's not white enough. So you might need to go back over it with, what do you call it? With white. But I still really like it. Now, again, it's a yellow tinged brown, effectively, that's very light in tone. Now, this goes all the way around. So actually, I don't know why I'm being so gentle with this. It's literally all of this. And this is actually the same. Let's come around here. Again, quite large, flattish areas, but again, because it's a cloak, I'm not too fast. It's not like it's a car or something man-made. They're really hard with contrast paints, by the way. Anything man-made rather than natural. Yeah, I know a cloak's man-made, but but you know what I mean. Like buildings, cars, vehicles, all that kind of stuff. Contrast paint's not good. If you ideally want to do spray, like a spray paint or an airbrush, to give you an even coating, whereas the contrast will pool. That's the point of them. So I had a word back from Discord that the solo scenarios will be coming out at the start of next month, which means the start of December, which is only a few weeks away. So I am very, very hyped for them. I mean, I can play Pantheon, but, you know, I'm painting these up. I want to play these. There we go. Perhaps a bit too much there. Again, especially when it's wet, don't be afraid to just grab some of that paint off, stop it from pooling too much. It won't matter too much, but yeah, sometimes if it's got too much paint, it might look a bit weird. Ooh, and then I've just, yeah, brilliant. Be a little bit careful while it's wet as well. I'll just reapply that there. Right, I was going to stick with Ragnar because of his hair. So let's have a little think about his hair. It's basically white, a white blonde. So again, one thing you can do here. Yeah, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to that Skeleton Horde. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a little bit of Skeleton Horde. I'm gonna chuck it on his head. Dab it, like so, and his beard. That'll be enough. Then quickly, or relatively quickly, without spilling all your paint everywhere, grab that contrast medium. I painted the base box set for the Valkyries and Hellhounds. Great effort. Does that include stretch goals? And then use the contrast medium to basically thin all this down, spread it around, give it some contrast, but make it thinner. And then it'll start to look, oops, sorry, it'll start to look like that blondie light blonde hair. There we go. There we go. Probably just take a little bit more off that top there. Oh, nice. Hades is a cool miniature. So you're a contrast painter. or speed paint, or do you do traditional paints, Terry? Nice. Okay, we got a bluish. We got a grey basically on here. So I'm just gonna go straight in with the Dreadful Visage again. This is really thin contrast paint, but it should have the desired effect of what I wanted. And I tend to do it this way. I just go, nah, let's just try it. I mean, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It doesn't really matter. It'll still look a lot better than grey plastic. That's all I can say is whatever you do, however decent you think your paint job is, it'll be better than grey plastic. But obviously, if Mythic Battles is the only thing you play, you can spend longer on your miniatures. Of course you can. I've just got a lot of games. I play a lot of tabletop miniature games. I play a lot of miniature board games. So I don't have time to spend ages on painting. Right, while I've got Ragnar out, I'm going to show you another essential contrast paint, which is for any wood. And wildwood, I love wildwood. It's such a nice, deep, reddish tinged brown that works wonders for any wood. So I do these kind of like diagonals. I'll do them in a white. And we've also got metal on here as well. Oh, that's too much paint. Trying to get the right angle to paint with. And again, I'm not too fussed about getting over the metal part. Again, it really does help that it's been the mold, the actual miniature, has got the detail which has already been molded into it. So you don't have to really think about it. Also, we got a little bit inside of that. There we go. That's the shield. Let's do the spears, staff, or spears, yeah, staff. Pole. And if you want a fast way, as I say, as I keep saying in all my videos, if you want a fast way to paint your miniatures to a tabletop standard, nothing super, but certainly so it looks good on the table, then you can't go too far wrong with speed paints or contrast paints. Just try and get in there a minute. Awesome. And it always dries better than when you first put it on. He's coming along. I'm quite pleased with this. It's looking quite good. I don't know. Oh, right. That's a grey. Okay. So then we need a grey on his over there. Boots, we're going to do... I think we'll do those snakebite leather, actually. So that's the wildwood there. Let's switch up miniatures. And go with... Ltha. So Ltha again. Want to keep going with this wood. Again, just immediate effects you will see when you use these. One of the massive advantages, especially with amateur painters, is just seeing that, you know, the fruits of your labour immediately. I'm sure I sound like a broken record if you've watched any of my other videos. Are we on an hour yet? Yeah, we're just past an hour. So obviously, if you want to just focus on one miniature, you can do. It's just, I find, it's not batch painting. I mean, if I did the Sears, it'll be a little bit more about batch painting, but I'm not really sure what I want to do with the Sears, to be honest. But if you could just get a few different characters and just work through them as one of them's drying, it keeps it interesting, keeps painting more interesting. But it does mean that, I won't finish. I mean, I'll be live streaming for about another, probably half an hour. I doubt I'll get a miniature completely done. But I'll get a few on their way to being done, which is not bad. That's fine. Cool. All right. Yeah, I'm going to go in with the belt with this as well. Just show that slight different tone to the snakebite leather. Well, this is cool. All right, I'm going to, yeah, okay, I get it. I'm going to attempt to have a go at this back piece here as well. Sorry, I can't see properly. You have to bring it up closer to me. So do this little bit here. And then we'll use that around here. Oh, hit the camera. Why not? Sorry if this is out of shot. It's just a little bit fiddly, this. Actually, I will just keep that going there. And then down there. That's it. Awesome. See, I forgot. I did miss a little bit there. I could just go in with this. There's no harm in just using a little bit of a darker tone in the hair. I'm going to be using probably null on the hair anyway, just to give it a little bit more tonal difference. Cool. I'll do for Ltha for a minute. Right, should we tackle hell? Let's tackle hell. So, hell, the white is now dried. And as you can see, we can see that contrast now. Looks a bit like stonework, really, but I quite like that. It's quite similar in tone. Maybe not quite as grey, but it's getting there. Right, so black. Another absolute essential contrast paint for me is Black Templar. Yeah, of course it's going to be slightly blue. I mean, how can you have contrast in black? So you're going to the bluer side of greys for the differences. But ultimately, this should be relatively quick to do. We're literally going to go black all the way down. Now, I've got to be a little bit careful here because we don't want to get the black on the white, of course, or else we're going to have to retouch that up with some base primer. Oh, the black hair is black. The black hair is black. The hair around the back is black. So there's going to be a lot of black on this miniature. There's quite a lot of paint on that. But I'm not going stupid because I don't want it to look a bit disjointed, as it were. So I'm going with the leg first. There we go. And we'll go up to the body. Awesome miniature yet again. So she's got half her face paint. Yes, she has. Okay. Notice I go quiet when I'm concentrating. The white is the bit in front, so kind of like... Oh, it's that one there. Whoops. Okay, let's do that. So Hel, I assume, is just like Hela in the Marvel universe. Sorry if I've got that wrong. My Norse mythology is not amazing. Unlike a lot of people, it's kind of like Marvel led. Of course, oh, what am I thinking of? It's a PlayStation game. Lord's Kratos. Lord of War. No, God of War. God of War. That's what I was meaning. Or God of War. I think I might do like this as a half as well, actually. Now I've started. So I'm going to bring this down from here. Bring this down like this. Oops. Ah! That's right. I can always go over that. That was a bit of a mistake. Yeah, that's cool. Oop. My camera mount is just a little bit in the way for some angles. I think we'll do a kind of fire base for Hel. That'll be fitting. Let's bring this like here. Might even get a bit more like that. That's better. Boom, boom, boom. And we'll bring this round. Can't actually see anything I'm doing now. That should do it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Ah, right, okay. So now we've got to try and get... Let's hold it like... So, this is going to go off camera, sorry, while I get the right angle for this. Trying not to get over the hair too much. That was very hard. So as you can see, I've gone over the leg, so I'm gonna have to sort that out in a bit. But that's pretty cool. Okay, now the rest of it. So boom, 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 boom. Let's get some more paint. And we're just going full also with the black here. Okay, so we've got the white one at the front. So this is kind of like white. Could do those strands as white. Let's. Oh, Hel is the goddess who transported the deceased to the kingdom of the dead, not the honourable deaths, though. These were by the Valkyries. Okay. So that is the same as Hela, right? Hela in Marvel, I believe. Let's have this come around. And then we can just have all that. Bum, 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 bum. Of course, you can use a bigger brush for this, which means it'll take less time. I'm just so used to just using the same brush. That's absolutely necessary unless you've got something absolutely gigantic that needs Okay, that one's also Hold on. Oh no. Right, okay. Here's a little tip. If you do something you've done wrong, so this one here, it shouldn't be black. It's probably not going to work because it's black. But if you get a bit of water, this is like your razor, right? You can chuck it onto here and you can start to take the paint off. Just make sure you keep using it, especially if you've got black. I mean, black's obviously a very high tone, but it should get rid of that contrast paint that went on it. Which means you can effectively have a bit like an eraser. Then you can always use a little bit of kitchen roll. Just get the last bits of it. And there we go. It's like it never was painted-ish. Bit on the top there, hang on a sec. There we go. Right. So go back to black. And this is black. Now be a little bit wary of... let's just have it there. That's it. That's more like it. Of the water, because the paint will just bleed into the water. And then you'll be left with a right mess. We're coming towards the end of the black. Did I just get paint? Yes, I did. Don't be afraid to use your fingers as well. We want those white. It's quite an awkward miniature. So, let's have a little look. It's that contrast between white and black, which we're looking for with this miniature, of course. Bit of a boring one, apologies, to watch. Let's have a little think about this. As we come round. Again, if you miss anything, you can just come out back with it with the black. It doesn't matter too much with something as dark tone as black. But you can do multiple coats. You can do multiple coats with contrast paints. If you want it to be slightly darker, you can use, let's say you put a blue on, and you can always go in with like a snakebite leather that will darken the tone. A bit like a wash, I guess. Okay. There we go. Obviously, it's a bit shiny with the paint that's wet, but you can already see the kind of tonal changes as it dries. I will have to tidy up some bits of it, which is fine. I'll show you how that works in a bit. So that's it for Hela at the moment. It's looking pretty cool, actually. Right. I feel like I want to go back to Loki. I want to do a bit more Loki. So let's do the... Let's bring him back. There's Loki as it's now dried. Or mostly dried. Yep. I mean, it's still some wet parts there, as you can see. But this snake. The snake is the next thing I want to do. Now, they've done it as like a little bit of a purple snake. I quite like that, rather than a green. So let's use a different purple. So I've got a purple called Shish Purple. Now, Shish Purple is a very dark purple, which I think will be perfect for the snake. And then what we're going to do is, once we've finished the miniature, we'll use some Ard Coat, which is a gloss varnish, and make it look properly slimy snake, as it were. So let's go over this with our snake. Sorry about the moving camera. Just trying to get a better angle to paint with. I do like this purple colour. Again, I don't have to do any mixing. I can just like literally put it straight on. Again, the details there, just let the paint do the work. Cool. So I've got to have something similar to this, similar, not the same. I've got Blood Rage, Rising Sun, and Ankh. These are Simon board games. I'm sure people have heard of them, and I love Ankh. The idea of having Egyptian gods, monsters, and everything else for this game really does quite excite me. Vikings and Greek are brilliant. You know, they are definitely my favourite mythical era. Oh, whoops, went over the tunic there. Hang on a sec. Definitely my favourite mythical era. However, I was getting it back into, well, not back into, I was getting to Egyptian myth through Ankh, as it were. Because you got gods, you got monsters, and everything else in that too. Okay, just need to get a little bit in the corner there. Nice. So that's the serpent around Loki. So what about this pelt? This wolf pelt here. I think it makes sense to kind of go down a grey wolf way. So another grey that I use quite a lot of Grith Charger Grey. Now this is a blue grey. To be fair, this is what I should have used for quite a few of the stuff, probably. But you know, in hindsight. So let's go in with this grey. Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, of course, I want to see the miniatures. Yeah, I think they're going to be. I think they're just improving as like technology of miniature molds and all the rest of it improve. We're just going to see better and better miniatures. So I'm very excited to see them. I think they're going to be awesome. So what you'll see in a second, I'm just going in with a coat of this to start with. Oh, is that a snake? Oh yeah. Okay, so I've missed part of the snake, which I will come back to. And this is kind of like a Stark grey, you know, from Game of Thrones. I've got to be careful because that purple is wet. I don't want that to bleed into the blue that I'm trying to do here. So I'll just stop just a little bit shy of that and just be really, really careful not to move that around. That wasn't very controlled, that part. Oh god, there was still some yellow. Never mind. Cool. So that's the grey wolf. Last Egyptian miniature sculpts. Oh, hang on. What was that? What was that? All messages are visible. We are currently finishing the last Egyptian miniature sculpts for Egypt. Oh, this is it Giles? Is that how you pronounce your name, Giles? Because you're You're the one who commented on the Discord about the solo version for Ragnarok coming out next month. Did I get that right? So the start of December? Is that right? Can we be that excited? I can't wait. Oh, thank you for confirming. Amazing. Thanks for joining us, Giles, as well. But that is awesome. And oh, that's so good to hear about the Egyptian sculpts. And I assume you can't say much, but I've been blown away by the Ragnarok sculpts. I can only assume that we're not going to lose the quality going to Egyptian. Oh, you're like giving us all Christmas presents. So we're going to see some work in progress sculpts for the Egyptian mythic battles. Oh man, I don't think you realise what you do to our wallets, Giles. But it's, I mean, when you consider how many hours of fun, painting, playing, modelling, all the rest of it, it is 100% worth it. I'm very excited to get into Mythic battles. Very excited. And I also go to a game group, a local board game group, and I took Ragnarok, as I said, on the unboxing video. I took that and it was such a hit. We played a 3-player game and absolutely loved it. We played just base, no Jarls, none of those runes, whatever they do. Look like specialist upgrades or something. So there's some added extras now with Ragnarok, which is cool, from Pantheon. Cool. He's looking, getting there. With the, and I presume it's, don't forget to paint the flat snake on the bottom of the coat. The flat snake on the bottom of the coat. Bottom of the coat. Bottom of the coat. This bit? Better start small and add options after. Best way to learn and not feel overwhelmed. 100%. Absolutely 100%. And it's such a nice, to be completely honest, simple game system. The key is knowing the traits and the powers of all the miniatures, of course. And you've really got to know your opponent's ones as well to make sure that you know you're not falling into a trap or whatever it might be. So that's where the complexity lies. But the actual game system is so streamlined, it's so simple. That's what made it such a hit, was the fact that these 2 new players to the game, and I'm relatively new as well. Right, hang on a minute. So it comes round down there. It goes round there. Oh, yeah, I see it. Yep. I got you. Thank you very much. I was thinking, how does that come around there? Good point. At the top. Here. Yes. Because I'm presuming like it's the snake's part of Loki. And the bottom left-hand corner. Oh! Yeah. I got you. Superb. It's part of him. Easy miss. Oh, and I joined a Facebook group, and there's a tournament going on in London soon, which is cool. And I was thinking tournaments for this game would be pretty cool. I could definitely see how that would work in different rounds. And you can, is there any while we got you here, Giles, is there any organized play kits or anything like that from Monolith? I've got to try and keep an eye on the chat while I'm painting. Is that a thing? Is that a potential thing? because that would be awesome. Like new scenarios and things like that. That would be amazing. I don't know if that's possible, or if that's even in the works, or if it does exist. It's oh! You are literally. Are you allowed to say all this? Oh man! Literally everything I've asked for, you said is happening. This is crazy. This is craziness. Unless you're a you actually do affiliate with Monolith, right? You're not just pulling our legs and teasing us with fake news. I hope. I'm sure you are. Oh, really? Confrontation games are not your cup of tea. I'm a little bit the opposite. I love confrontation games. One of my favorite games is Black Rose Wars by Ludus Magnus Games, which was the precursor to Novatus Renaissance, which just came relatively recently. That's so mean. It's such a mean game. All you're doing is doing confrontation, but I absolutely love it. And you've got to have the right game group, of course. But yeah, I'm a bit the opposite. So this is down my street, a competitive game. But it's good because you don't win just by, you can obviously kill off your opponent's god to win, but it's all about the Omphaluses or the Divine Stones now, and getting those really, unless you play a scenario, of course, which has its own objectives. Yeah, Black Rose Wars. Oh, such a good game. Oh, hang on, there's more there. I've missed another bit. There's a lot of this snake. There's a bit there as well. Oh, that's so good. I mean, obviously, it's being a French company. Sorry, Giles. I'm assuming you are French. I don't know with a name like that. That's a massive assumption. I'm just assuming. But is they organise play to be kind of shipped out effectively worldwide and supported worldwide? So can we get it in the UK, the US, and stuff like that? Oh no. For everyone. Is that for everyone? My French is terrible. Oops. Because you may not know this, but I started this channel and I was kind of working for ambassador for amazing. I was sort of an ambassador for Mythic Games. Now we all know what's going on with Mythic Games, of course. It's a bit of a disaster, but I love their games. I love Mythic Games' games, and I know that Mythic did Battle Pantheon 1 from Belgium. Oh, nice, Thierry. And yeah, when they brought out Super Fantasy Brawl, which is one of my favorite games, they were talking about supporting organized play for that and having it everywhere, and it just never happened. So I'm hopeful. Hopefully, what you say is going to come true, and we can actually get a bit of organized play around our local game stores and stuff here in the UK. That'd be amazing. I would be very keen on that. Right, cool. This is awesome. Lots of great games for them too. Many friends there. Yeah, I can bet. And it's such a shame what's happening there. I mean, talk about Vikings, Hell the Last Saga, which is a little bit of a sore subject for a lot of people. I was towards the tail end of being an ambassador for Mythic Games. I was demoing that when it first got released, and oh my god, is it a good game! I'm just so much praying that it does get produced and it Mythic are able to right the ship, as it were. We never know. We just don't know what's happening with there, obviously. But there's still a chance. But that coming out would be amazing. That's such a good game. Right. What's next? I think we're going to go with. Let's go back to Ragnar. let's try and almost complete a miniature. So what I tend to do, my painting process, what I probably recommend is get all the coats, all the paint on apart from the metalwork, and then work on the metalwork afterwards. So we got some boots. I'm going to go in with, it's quite pastel colours actually, it's turned out. But to be honest, if we look at the card art, it's pretty pastel anyway. So it's not too dissimilar of what I've painted to what's on there. A slightly darker tone, admittedly. So I think what we're going to do is do the boots with the snakebite leather. I'm going to go back to that snakebite leather. It's a paint I really do enjoy using. What are we on? We're on 100 minutes. Okay. It's not too bad. Hour and 40 minutes. And we've got a bit of fur on the top of the boot, so I'm going to just leave that slightly. Just paint the foot. Now we've got a bit of sculpted base here, so I want to leave that stone, go in with Basilican and grey on that. So try not to get the brown onto that part. You've got a belt there. Oh, maybe it's not fur. I think it's just a belt, actually. It is. It's just a belt. Yeah, this is going to be cool on the table. Especially, oh god, oh, and that's the other thing, is the map board, the boards in this game are just amazing. The artwork and how good they look. And I've got Batman Gotham City Chronicles, and I love that as well. Yeah, it's not the easiest to navigate round Batman, but there's a very handy app. I can't remember what it's called now, which talks about all line of sight and elevations and all that stuff. And when you use that, it's brilliant. But oh my word, the artwork on them are just so good. And I haven't even talked about the fact of just mashing Viking and Greek together. It's going to be cool. So there's loads to do. There we go. There's the boots. Nice. And then I think for the straps, I'm going to go in with black. Grey. I'm going to go with pure Basilican and grey. So let's get that one out. Ooh. Thanks a lot for the map artist, and I agree for Batman. Yeah, it's quality. Oh, and not just the maps, the game's absolute quality as well. This is the problem. There's too many. It seems every new game is amazing, and I am seriously running out of space from all these, especially the big games like this. It's a nice problem to have, but it is crazy. It's too many good games. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Oop. So just out of interest, Giles, is it are you an ambassador for Mythic? Whoops, Monolith? Or involved in the development, or what? We're in an era of many great games, miniature games, and RPG. Oh, yeah, and RPG. You're absolutely right. Time. I mean, this is my main hobby, games, by a long shot, but I still don't have time to do everything. I try to get everything played, and I make a good effort of it, especially with the solo. The amount of solo that you can play now with most games, yeah, you definitely can. That's cool. Is he holding his belt? You can definitely get games played more frequently. You'd have to try and organize a group together. And they're really good solo as well. It's actually overtaken and taken the part that I used to play video games, and now I just play board games. All the Kickstarter part of Monolith, art director too, like for Ragnarok. Cool! Awesome. That's for... I think we'll just paint like so. That's going to be metal. Cool. Okay, I'm just going to go with the... Yeah, let's go in grey here. Ooh, careful. Yeah, you must be chuffed with these products, Giles, in terms of like now they're getting delivered to the backers, and it's only going to get more and more praise. I can guarantee that. Absolutely guarantee it's going to get more and more praise. That's very cool. Right, I'm very happy with that. So Ragnar's starting to look a little bit more finished, and that's the beauty of painting, right? Is as you get rid of more and more white, it starts to look better and better and better. Awesome. Okay, we got some metal work to do, of course. Is there any white that's not metal? Oh yeah, those. Let's go with wildwood. Back with that wildwood to get a darker tone brown. Just a slight difference. That's a metal buckle at the front. Cool. Okay. And yeah, certainly the painters among you will be so used to this. You just end up just tweaking, doing little bits to it and everything else. Okay, Ragnar. And we are starting to get there. If we have a little look at the paint progress so far. So they're the ones we've been painting so far. And we are slowly but surely getting to a point. Right, let's go back to Loki and do his boots. So he's got some boots going on. Judging by the diagram, we got a darker tone than this. Oops. We got a darker tone than our Gorgrunter fur. So I think I'm going to go in with either Wildwood or Cygor Brown. Conan Kickstarter, I have the base game. Oh, Terry, don't, yeah. It's Conan. It's too much. There's too much. That's the problem. Yes, there is Conan. Oh, and Giles, you might know as well. I'm just going to keep asking you. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm just asking where Thierry's from. Giles, for Solomon Kane, am I right in saying Monolith have the rights to Solomon Kane? Because Solomon Kane is one of my favourite games. And I was just thinking, potentially doing a Conan version of Solomon Kane would be pretty awesome. Or certainly using the game system for something else. I don't know. Can you shed any light? Hang on a minute. That's cryptic. I'm right. Is it a good game or? Cygor Brown's lovely, by the way. So it's a kind of a very dark, deep brown. Slight reddish tinge. Oh my. Are you being serious? I can't tell if you're pulling my leg. That would be... That would be amazing. Solomon Kane system for a different IP. Oh my word. Yeah, I think you probably said too much already. But well, count me as very excited. You don't have to say any more. You definitely don't have to say any more. Well, this is a hard miniature to hold. I mean, you could always wait until the paint's dried and then you'll be able to pick it up. Awesome. Right, cool. So now he's got the darker brown top of the boots, the strapping. This strap. Actually, I'm gonna Bob Moraine. How does this work? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I've been making my way through Solomon Kane painting miniatures for that. Again, absolutely top class miniatures in that game, but too many of them. Awesome. Okay. It's looking better. As soon as you take that white away, it really does look better. And then I think the actual boots themselves, that will be, I'll do those wildwood. So again, just some different tones of brown as we go down the miniature. Should look quite good. We're going to sort this wolf out, by the way. It's not going to stay blue. I quite like it as a kind of snow wolf, I guess, in a way. Yeah, but we're gonna also, we need to put a bit of snakebite leather onto here. I need to put Gorgon fur onto here. So we still need to sort that cloak out. And then the actual cloak itself, I've got to decide what I'm going to colour the cloak as. So we've got this purple. Now it does seem like browns might be a way forward, but what do you think, chat? What do you think for this cloak? Is that the oh, that's the wolf. Oh my god, I'm right. I get it. I just twigged. Yes and no. I think the coat being tricky to paint, it's got so much detail modelled into it that you can just let the paint dry into it. You see, this is part of the wolf. Yeah, ice blue, exactly. Which would make sense for Loki. So again, yeah, you can see it while I'm doing this. It just goes into the recesses. Not much effort from me. Awesome. Oops. Cool. Yeah, it's part of the wolf, you see? So it's part of him. Ah, so cool. and this is the other thing. If you just got this as grey plastic, you wouldn't necessarily see that. But now getting the different colours on, And you might be yeah, yeah, it definitely looks, especially when you got it like this vivid colours. But I love that. I love that. It's it makes it unique, and it's not going to be a white coat. I'm gonna definitely get a dark background onto that coat. I think it may be wildwood, or possibly even black. No, I think I'm going to stay with the browns. I think I'm definitely going to stay with the browns, and I think wildwood. I'm going to go with wildwood for the rest of the cloak. So that, I'm going to have to be a little bit more careful with that, especially around this sky blue. Right. Yeah, so I think I'm going to get back that snakebite leather and do some strapping and everything else on it. Definitely get yourself something to hold paints, by the way. If you're new to painting, I mean, I'm obviously not telling people who are veteran painters what to do, but if you the amount I've knocked over several pots before I got this, and touch wood, I haven't knocked over a single pot since having it. I've also a little shout out to the Discord community for Monolith. It seems really positive, because so many of those Discord communities can become very toxic very quickly. But it seems really quite positive overall of what I've seen so far, which has been really cool. I think that's so important for a board game, a crowd-funded board game, to get that community behind you. And I know that as looking through the, I mean, I've been part of the Discord community for a few years, but I want to say Mike Foy, who does all the tabletop simulator stuff. I mean, fair play. Oops. Nice. Okay. I wish I had a bigger holder, because this is it's not the easiest to hold. Now I've painted parts of it. Mike is a great guy. Is he the one who did the tabletop simulator stuff? Have I got that right? I think that's right. Foyable Games, isn't it? Foyable Games. I don't think it's leather. That's a chain. That's a chain. I need to use metal on that. We can put inside of these. Endeavory. What? Is that the channel? Right. Right. Check. Yeah, wildwood, wasn't it? Wildwood. Let's get some wildwood. We are 120. We're nearly up to 2 hours. Put them now. That's good. And to be honest, that's how I paint. I just do it in sessions. I have been known to like paint for about 5 or 6 hours in a row. Especially when you get into the mode, and again, especially with contrast paints, because you're getting instant satisfaction from the results. Is it 100% for me, it's not boredom. I just love it. It's therapeutic. I would normally, if I'm not recording music, there are some, oops, chat doesn't stay on. There's some texture on the blade of the sword. What could it be? Fire? Like fire or something? On his sword? Yeah, fire. Ice. Ice from the, I presume ice, maybe? As easy his connection to that. What am I going to do? I was going to do the cloak. Do I do the cloak? Do it in Wildwood? I don't know. I'm stuck. The cloak. What should I do, you cloak? I mean, it's brown in the picture, of what I can tell. It's brown inside of the art of the miniature. Oh, hang on. There we go. Yeah, no problem. Thanks very much, Charles. Thanks for stopping by and giving us all the hot takes. Really appreciate it. And that's just made me very, very excited. Yep, got the ice and fire. Crimson. Ooh, that's bold. Yeah. That could be. Hey, Scott. Yeah. Are you UK, Scott? America? Whereabouts are you? I really hope that everyone starts getting their shipping notifications soon. It's very exciting times. Crimson. Oh, no. Yep. Cool. Yeah. Just really, really hope that people start getting this soon. It's so good. It's so good. I'm thinking more purple. I don't know. No, it's too bold. Crimson. Yeah, crimson's not a bad shout. Magos purple. No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go brown. Agros. I'm going brown Agros. You're going for all in. Wow. Yeah, I couldn't afford that. I wish I could go for all in. Scott, have you got Pantheon already? Or was that literally all in for everything? Because that would be insane. That'd be amazing. We're going for it. We're doing it. I've decided. Ah, okay. Cool. I didn't go in. I just ordered all the right. Oh, Ragnar, yeah. Oh, that Odin. Oh, my word, that Odin. I'm not going to lie. I definitely have FOMO of Odin. Yeah, Scott. Well, as I say, I never played Pantheon Mythic Battles at all, apart from on. I played 2 games on TTS with a friend of mine, and then I was like, "This is such a cool game," and that's what drove me to back it. You won't be disappointed. It is really quite easy to play. It's not too difficult. Ima. Yeah. But seeing Satyr and oh yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I suppose you can have too much though, can't you? Agros Dunes is very similar to Snakebite Leather, just a lighter tone. And that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted a to keep the vivid light tones as best I could. Oh yes, Scott, mine too. In fact, when I was doing that unboxing, I don't know if you see my unboxing video. My son Charlie, he's 6 years going on 7 next month, and he he was so excited. Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool, and we don't play the game, obviously. He's way too young. But we just muck around with the miniatures, and he loves it. Yeah, the composition and drafting your army is insane. The possibilities, especially if you got all in, are crazy. But I'm really keen to try out the scenarios. That's what I really want to get going with. Chumming a bit to what, mine? Oops. Oh, get yours, yes. Yeah, well, hopefully soon, mate. But with so many others. I've no idea what prioritizes who gets what when. It's bizarre. Oops. Bit of wet purple there. Don't mind. Don't think it's much of a problem. I might do my Loki with a green cloak. Yeah, good call. Scott, why didn't you say earlier? I've got military and green. That would have been quite cool. I'm happy with this choice. I'm happy with this choice. No, I'm not going back. I'd love to see some photos if you do that. Oh, was I just... No. Yes, green. Or bright green. I've also got a bright green, warp lightning green. Now that would be... I don't know why I've just painted that. Yeah, that's not part of the cloak. I'm pretty happy with that choice. Cool. Just got to do a bit of Gorgunta fur. So I'm just going to take that off because that needs to be Gorgunta fur. Let's do that now. So that was Agros Dunes. I'm just going to move this down. Risky, yeah, but fun. And a little bit of a nod towards the Marvel version. Yeah, so you could go that. Or I haven't finished the hair yet. I'm not finished the hair yet. Or should I do green hair? Is that what you're saying? I haven't finished the hair yet. I've got to make that blend it even a bit more orange into the hair. So we've still got a bit of work to do on that. Yeah, I've still got still a bit to do on this. It's a relatively large miniature. The bigger the miniature, the longer it takes. That's good fun. Well, yeah, exactly. No, I was thinking of that, but then I want to stick with the ice theme, which would make sense in terms of Loki. So I was going to go with the blue. The classic blue, boring blue. I just forgot to paint these parts when I did his first coat, cloak, whatever. Awesome. True. And actually, that Tesseract glow is blooming awesome. It properly does glow. Yeah, right. All right, you sold me, Scott. He's going green eyes. I didn't take much convincing, but yeah, I like it. First of all, I'm going to use this Pilar Glacier. Good for ice, as you would imagine. Now the green cloak. So I'm just going to chuck this on here. Oh, by the way, I am not. I'm not doing kind of like what's it called? OSL? OSL? Is that right? You know, when you do the lighting effect, the blue lighting effect everywhere. No, I'm not doing any of that. Rest assured. Right. Okay. So next, we're gonna grab Griffhound Orange. Yeah, got an idea. To do this flame, the fire. So the kind of outside edges. There we go. Right, let's get that glow on. Yeah. I mean, I literally just do that. I mean, it's not phenomenal, but it simulates fire. I don't know. I mean, it's a lot easier when I've got contrast paints, right? I want to be a bit careful on this. Loki green eyes. Hey, Kyle. Oh, is that Mike Foy as well? Just getting stuff to the paint table. This is looking really nice. Oh, thanks, mate. It's hard, especially when you got so much to do. You know, I've got kids, a job, so it's just trying to tie in a bit of time. And then that's why I do live streams. Live streams are so easy because no prep needed, just a phone, and your paints. Dead easy. It's never gonna be a. I mean, Kyle will know this. I know Kyle from quite way back when I first started the channel. And the whole point of the channel is to get people into painting and certainly like solo variants of different games. But then it's as I've got more and more games, we just cover those as it were. Cool. I think that's leather though, isn't it? Yes, it is leather. Right. So these braces need to be another brown. So I'm going to go back to Snakebite to get painted. My cat says otherwise. Another person with a cat. Yeah, a lot of people are saying the cats are the love them to bits, but they don't help. That's why you need if you don't have one, you need a gaming shed, like I've got, and then you can the cats can be banned from it. Yep. Oh yeah, good, cool. Oh yeah, yeah, yes. Black at the tips. Good point, actually, Thierry. We can definitely do that. Ah, right. Hang on a minute. I need to bend this more this way, so I can at least get it in shot. Whoop, slow. Try and get the right angle. Yeah, I was just saying, Mike, that I've definitely seen all your efforts on TTS, and I'm right in saying when you get your, have you got your copy, by the way, of Ragnarok? So I'm pretty sure you said you were gonna paint them all up and 3D scan them. Oh wow, cool! So exciting. That's so cool. Wow, enjoy tomorrow, your early Christmas. Yes. Yep. Thierry just talked about gas. If the fire's produced from gas, then you're gonna have the blue for the hot flame, or any super hot flame. White and blues are good. You know what? I'm happy with that cloak. I'm happy with that cloak. It looks cool. And the green eyes. Thanks, Scott. Green eyes are cool. So let's put a little bit of black at the top, and let's see. And I can blame Thierry if it all goes wrong. Oh wow! When did I do that? Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. You should definitely should. Definitely a green cloak. Yeah. Go on. Green eyes. God, I'm shaking like. Is that what you meant? I don't know. I think so. I don't know. Cool. And then just that Gilliman flash, because I realise I haven't done his ears. So let's get those ears on, and I'm going to do the hair with a wash. Look at the detail on this. So cool. Awesome. Right. Hair. So I'm going to just go in quite simply with... Uh-oh. Yes. Reichland Flesh Shade. Yeah, Scott. 100%. Thanks, Foil. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, honestly, whenever I use contrast, I'm always happy with the result. I don't think I've ever been like, I've got to reprime that and paint it again. I never felt like that. So let's just get a chunk of this on there. I don't mind him being blonde. It's supposed to be more redhead. I suppose it's more browns and... Oh, I'm going to go drastic. Right, let's get some orange. What am I going to do with the paint? Paint? What am I going to do with the paint? What am I on about? What am I going to do with the base? I'm going to use... I've got some snow texture from Army Painter, I think it is. I'm just going to plaster it with that. So literally, he's in the snow. Nice and simple. Won't take a minute. I'm going back with that orange. We're gonna go a bit crazy. Let's go a bit crazy. See what happens. So I'm going to get some orange into here. Now the wash should help with this, but it does definitely need to be a more redhead than blondie. That's better. That's much better. Oops. Cool. I'm more happy with that. I could always go in with a bit of Agrax Earthshade to make it just darker, which I probably will do once it's drier. Okay, Loki's. I mean, what you can see here, we've got a bit of pooling there. I'm not going to take that off now. Whatever you do, if it gets to this stage where it's dried around it, if you take that off, it'll just leave a white patch, and you're pretty screwed. So just leave those on. It'll look quite natural. It's a cloak, right? If you ever get that. Awesome. We've got metalwork to do on this chap, and the wolf needs a bit of work, admittedly. And we've obviously got the metalwork, but the base, yeah, the base. I'm just going to do a snow base for Loki. Right, moving on to Hela. Here's Hela now. As you can see, that black gives it a really nice tone. That's cool. She's cool. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to come in with some... Now, I Wraithbone sprayed it, sprayed it with Wraithbone, Citadel Wraithbone. So I've got Wraithbone base paint. And of course, I'm using that as a touch-up to reprime parts of the miniature. because I don't want to reprime the entire lot, of course. So I get, whoops, didn't want to do that. That's right, no harm done. I want to add a bit of water into that. Right, so here we are going to just touch up where I got the black on there. We can always put the white back over it, right? You can use it to highlight as well. I'm just making sure I got this. We haven't got black on the white. Maybe these bits there. Just trying to blend that a little bit. I will put the apothecary white back over that, or else it'll look too chalky. It will look a bit weird. Cool. So next thing we want to use this for is the eyes. It's particularly in this part here. Whoa. Cool. Okay, because they're going to be nice and red. There's like embers flying around on the art. So if I show you the art, there's embers flying all over the place. We'll do a lava base on this one. Don't know. I think we'll leave it at that. Oh, no, I've got it right. I was going to say, is it the other way round? But no, it's not. You can see all the texture detail on this side. It's really cool. Look at this. It's like charcoal. That's very cool. We'll leave those to dry. And we'll have a look. We all done. What's this? Yeah. I've literally got another 2 minutes. One day I distracted and I dripped my brush in my soda glass. Yeah, ginger better. I've not read any of this. Maybe, or cert, or yeah. Cheers for subscribing, Scott. Terry, did you drink your soda after? That's the question. Right. I am. Oh yes. Well, I've got that white. I'm going to bring Loki back, and we're going to do the wolf. As I've got paint all over him. To be fair, anyway. Just going to do this a minute. And let's do those eyes. So we're going to do red eyes on the devil wolf. Cool. Right, I am going to have to leave it there. I haven't finished a miniature, but that's typically how these live streams tend to go, especially when I'm painting more than one miniature. Which I do like to do, to just mix it up and keep it fresh while I'm painting. So, what have we got? We managed to do part Lagatha. This is a bit too purple for my liking. a little bit too purple for my liking. I still quite like it. So she needs a bit of work doing on her, but you can see how cool that purple looks now. It's been mixed with the grey, and the contrast has done their work. Now it's dried. Oh, nice, Thierry. The Sear I've not done much with at all. We just got that base kind of purple colour. Again, really happy with that colour. Nice and vivid, which is what I'm after. Yeah, of course, Scott. Ragnar is mostly done. Ragnar's pretty far gone, so he's not far off finished. Got to do some facial work. Need to do the metal work, of course, on him, and just a few little touch-ups. He's got I'm going to do snow on him as well. I'd probably do snow on a lot of them, and then this coming out. Maybe a few little grass tufts. Yeah, let's hope so, Scott. Fingers crossed, mate. I do have a few touch-ups to do, so that's Ragnar. Hello, you've just seen. Again, a few touch-ups to do on the... Actually, no, what I might do is where I've got little spots of white around on the black, I'm just going to do those red. No, drop paint. Yeah, I mean, God, people used to lick their brushes to get a point after painting on lead miniatures. I mean, that's going to be worse. I'm just gonna do red. I just need to get some red before I leave. Blood Angels red. Let's do it. Love Blood Angels red. There's several different reds you can get in the contrast range. And to be fair, I've not tried them because I've just dealt with Blood Angels red. That's the red eyes, so that's Hell. And then, of course, we have Loki, which we spent the most time on, but is looking pretty cool. Love that cloak. The pattern, and then they're literally coming out of the cloak to do a Loki's bidding. The tricksy one. Cool. Okay, so hopefully it's great chatting to you all. I wasn't expecting so many people to come onto the stream, so thanks very much for turning up and finding out a bit about yourselves, and hopefully the common thing between you all is hopefully you get your copies very soon so you can experience this absolute quality game. So until next time, keep gaming, keep chatting in Discord, and stay safe and enjoy the game when you do get it. It is an absolute doozy. It's awesome. Okay, for now, see you later.